Do you want to know why some people make stupid decisions when it comes to large financial investments like buying a house, financial investments, or even when it comes to choosing their life partner, their spouse? This is the work of the contrast misweighing bias. And in this video, I will explain how it works and how you can avoid it. So Charlie Munger, he explains in this book that when valuing assets or different options, we tend to compare them to what we have been exposed to before, rather than seeing them for their actual worth. And this can create a lot of problems because we tend to make more stupid decisions. We become less rational. So then you might ask, what does this have to do with me? Why should I be interested in this? So let's say you're going to buy a house, and the realtor, he takes you to see first 2 overpriced houses on purpose. Then you get kind of a false idea of how the prices should be on houses in that particular area. Then the third option, he shows you a normally priced house, but to you that looks like a bargain, and then you buy the house. But if you would instead have done a little bit more research yourself, you could have found much better options, houses that you liked even more for a better price than the third option. Another reason why it should be important to you is if you're looking for your life partner, a spouse, or a girlfriend or a boyfriend. So let's say you're swiping on a dating app, and then you get 10 model looking girls first. Then the 11th option is a normally attractive person. So even though she might have been the perfect option for you, just because you saw 10 extremely attractive people first and then the normally attractive person, you might have overlooked that person, even though she might have been a perfect option for you, like a much better personality maybe than the models, or had similar interests like you, or things like this. This can also be really important if a person comes from a family that has not been optimal. Maybe they have been abusive or have had drug addictions or something. And then now this person they are looking for a spouse or a life partner. And then they have this kind of mental framework of how their parents were, which was maybe horrible. And that's what they're comparing with when they're looking for a spouse or a life partner. So then they might find, even if that person is just slightly better than the parents, they might think, oh, this is the perfect option for me. When in reality, it would have been much smarter to compare with, much better quality person, or someone who was on a much better life path than the abusive person or the drug addict. Now to the question, how do we use this tendency? So if you are a business owner, we can use this in sales, for example. You can, when talking with a prospect, for example, you can compare your offer with how much it would cost for them to hire an average coach, for example, that they will need to take much longer time being coached by. It might take you 5, 6 to 8 years to get a similar result. But my students, these 2 students here, for example, then you can show a real result. They got this result in only 6 months or whatever. So that's how you can use it with time. You could also make an example of the cost, saying if they hire this average coach and need to hire them for 5 to 8 years, it would cost this and this amount. It would be probably very expensive and they will not see such a great result. But if you hire me, we could fix that in 2 weeks or something. Then it's important that you can back that up, that you are really that good and that you have results. You could also compare it to one of your highest packages, for example. If you have an offering that is more exclusive. When I, as a music producer, I used to work with maybe two people per year, 2 projects per year that were much more highly priced than anything else that I offered. So then I can always say that in my in the calls when I offer something lower, that if you work with me on this, people usually pay around this price. But here I can still look at these things and give you feedback for, and we can have this included in this package or for a much lower price. So how do we avoid and fall for this tendency? I think it is important that we set up our inner frameworks for valuing situations and assets or projects, so that we, in a situation when we're about to choose, we don't just compare it to the other options we've seen that week, but we create an inner mental framework that we compare things towards. For example, I'm a creative person and I like doing creative things. That's how I deliver value. That also means that I get a lot of creative ideas all the time. And if I would jump on all of those, I would be spreading myself too thin and do way too many things and not accomplish anything. So I need to ask myself, does this particular project have a 10x potential? Can it pay 10 times back in the future? If no, okay, then I don't engage in it. Or if it's an investment, for example, does this have the potential to pay me 10x of what I'm paying? If not, I'm not interested. So can you see here how by creating this inner framework, it's like a checklist that I'm checking off, I can eliminate almost 80 to 90% of all options, and it becomes much more clear where I should spend my time and energy. It can also make sense to put really high standards for ourselves and to have those as the comparison. Those are the contrasts that we should weighing options against, not some option that someone else is presenting towards us, because they could be trying to manipulate us in order to do things that is good for them and not for us. When looking at the different houses, we could ask ourselves, is this house really the best option for me, or is the realtor just trying to get me to buy this one and make this one look cheaper? So by having our own standards, maybe pictures of how we want the particular house to look, and already deciding what price range we want to look at, then it will be much easier to find the best option for you. So awesome to hang out with you today. Next week I will go through stress influence tendency, which is also a really important one. If you have any question regarding this video, feel free to leave a comment and make sure to subscribe. I have some great subscribers already, and it would be amazing to see more. So have a great day and see you next week.